Hello friends, in this session I am going to discuss counter Naxal strategy. I am going to talk about the approach with which we need to deal with left-wing extremism so that we can find permanent and peaceful solution to this problem. But before talking about a integrated approach and a holistic manner in which we need to approach left-wing extremism, I would like you all to be aware that what actually has worked. I have already briefed you that since 2010 till date, we are finding declining trend in Naxal violence in India. So the overall improvement in Naxalism scenario is on account of what all? This is what you should know first, and on that basis we can formulate the strategy to combat left-wing extremism in a decisive manner. So I would just like you all to know this very well before we talk about the strategy with which we can deal with left-wing extremism, that the overall improvement, if we see, the overall improvement in left-wing extremism scenario left-wing extremism scenario, this can be attributed to greater presence, increased capacity, and third important is operational strategy, of security forces. Okay, and second important factor is through which we have achieved what we have achieved is better monitoring of developmental schemes in LWE affected areas. And third important is better coordination between center and states as well as between Naxal affected states. Okay, so these are the three things which has actually helped and contributed in overall improvement of left-wing extremism scenario in India. Number one is that security forces have increased their capacity. They have been successful in designing and devising better operational strategy, and now their presence is more in Naxal affected area. And government is focused on, proper and better monitoring of developmental schemes in LWE affected areas. And we are finding better coordination between center and states, and even interstate coordination among the states which are affected with left-wing extremism is there. And these all together has led to the emergence of a very satisfying scenario where we are finding declining trend of Naxal violence. But if we want permanent solution to this problem, okay, then what should be the strategy? This is what we are going to talk in this session. And I would also like you all to remember that central government is fully aware that in the federal polity of India, maintenance of law and order is a state subject. Police and public order falls within the ambit of state governments. So therefore, central government should give unconditional support to states as far as their capacity to fight with this problem is concerned, both related with security measures as well as developmental measures. But if we want a permanent solution, peaceful solution, if we want to reach to a state where we can declare that now no more left-wing extremism is a threat to internal security of the scenario, then we will have to approach the problem with multi-pronged strategy. So I am just going to discuss what should be the key component within counter Naxal strategy with which we can deal with this problem and can find permanent peaceful solution. So I am going to talk about for permanent and peaceful solution to left-wing extremism problem, what should be the strategy? Okay, what should be the strategy? All experts on internal security and social scientists, they are of this opinion that we will have to approach this problem in a holistic manner, in a holistic manner. Okay, we need to understand that left-wing extremism alone cannot be seen as a law and order problem, but there is some social angle attached and affiliated with it. So we will have to approach this problem in a holistic manner, and we will have to design and devise a multi-pronged strategy for it. Now in this multi-pronged strategy, the most important component will be security intervention. Okay, security measures. Now what we will have to do, we will have to talk about security measures. Now within this, there should be no doubt that there is a need for a strong police action, a strong police action against violence component of the movement. Okay, so we should not be hesitant. Let me tell you, somebody who has picked up arms against the state and is hell-bent on killing and bloodshed, state must take a strong action, police action, to disarm such people. But while using force, security forces and police forces need to be sensitive. Okay, so this is what a word of caution for security forces. Never ever in their operations, the quantum of force used by them should exceed the requirements. What happens normally? That when some attack will be, made by Naxals against security forces. Immediately the security forces will carry out combing operations in that area. Now while they are doing combing operation, when they are doing search operation, when they are not able to find the people who were actually involved in the attack, they will start, being tough with the villagers. Now this creates the breeding ground for a spread of left-wing extremism. So when it comes to security measures, you should be governed by what ideology? We need to deal with this problem with firmness but with sensitivity. So I am using the word a strong police action, but only against violence component of the movement, those who are hell-bent on killing. I am not talking about a strong police action against those who have a feel that this movement is justified. We need to deal with them, but slightly with a differential approach. Okay, so one thing which is very much required within counter Naxal strategy, that we should continue with our philosophy that a strong police action will be taken against those who are hell-bent on bloodshed, killing, who have picked up arms against the state. They needs to be disarmed, and for that whatever quantum of force is to be used, it will be used. And for this component, what is required? That we need to increase the capacity of security forces and police forces which are deployed in Naxal affected areas. We want them to formulate better operational strategy, and we should continue with our strategy to increase their presence in Naxal affected areas. But while we are talking about the security measures, we should be very, very particular that firmness but with sensitivity. So first component in counter Naxal strategy should be a strong police action against violence component of the movement, and better interstate coordination, better support which should be provided by the center to the states which are affected with this problem, and security forces numbers must increase in Naxal affected areas. There must be increase in their capacity to deal with the problem, and there must be better operational strategy with them to deal with Naxals. So that is one region, one area. Second is developmental measures. Developmental measures. Okay, so what is required? We need to accelerate the pace of development in Naxal affected area. Okay, so central government in coordination with state governments. Okay, central government in coordination with state governments must accelerate the pace of development in Naxal affected area. Naxal affected areas. And while they are accelerating the pace of development in Naxal affected areas, a special focus should be on people-centric development. People-centric developmental model. Basically, we should try to, protect and ensure rights and entitlements rights and entitlements of local communities. Then only we will be able to deal with this problem. You just think, no, that we started protecting wildlife in India 1972 onwards. Okay, but we forgot that there are many community who are residing in forested area. We have to even protect their rights. We have enacted the law for protecting the rights of forest dwellers only in 2006. So this kind of misplaced priorities cannot be there in developmental model which is designed and developed by government. So we need to accelerate the pace of development in Naxal affected area, for which there must be better coordination and cooperation between central and state governments, and we need to accelerate the pace of development through people-centric developmental model, and a special focus should be on protecting and ensuring the rights and entitlement of local communities. And within this scheme, we should be focused on social, economic and political development of the region. Political, all the three development, right? All the three. When I say social development, it is about equal status. There should be no discrimination. Dignity of everyone should be protected. When I say economic development, it is about ensuring equal rights for all people on economic resources, fair distribution of economic resources. Benefits of economic development should reach to all sections of society in a fair manner. And political development is equal say in decision-making process, equal representation in institutions. Okay, so while we are thinking about development in Naxal affected area, holistic, integrated, and when the problem is that in India, when we think of development, only thing which comes to our mind, good roads and electricity. No, development is also about equal status, equal say, fair distribution of resources. So we need to accelerate the pace of development in Naxal affected area, and there must be better monitoring of developmental program, welfare schemes which we are planning for Naxal affected area. So one component in this strategy will be to make security intervention. Another important component in this strategy will be to accelerate the pace of development. Third important component will be, right, ensuring good governance. Good governance in the region. Okay, and when I am saying good governance, in polity you will study about good governance. Some of the very important facet of good governance is, accountability, transparency, right? Efficiency, effectiveness, okay, people friendly, rule of law, transparency, right? Responsiveness, right? Responsiveness, efficiency, effectiveness, okay, accountability, right? All these are the important facet of good governance. Okay, so today if you see people, today if you see when somebody joining civil services, as per the framework of Indian Constitution and as per the system of administration which we have, civil servants are actually servant to people. So somebody who is joining civil services, they are servant to people. But what is happening? That on the day of selection itself, these people are developing a feel that they are master for the people. They are there to rule the people. No. Somebody who is joining civil, they are there to serve the people. So when we are talking about good governance, what falls within the ambit of good governance? People-friendly government, where people can reach to authorities, officers, offices, institutions, and very comfortably can ask for their rights, can talk about entitlements, can share what their complaint is, what their grievances is. So people friendly, rule of law, nobody is above law. Law will treat everyone alike, supremacy of law. Okay, so that is what should be. Transparency should be there, no hide and seek game as far as decision making is concerned. People have the right to know the manner in which the decisions are taken, who is taking the decision. Responsiveness. It should not be the case. It should not be the case that when they are going to police is not registering FIR. Even if FIR is registered, then when they go to court, there is too much delay in justice. So responsiveness is a very important component of good governance. So the third, efficiency. What is efficiency? Better input-output ratio. We know with limited resource, we have to serve large number of people. So despite limitations, we want better results, better input-output ratio. Effectiveness is about producing desired result. What is expected from police? What is expected from civil authorities? What is expected from government doctors? What is expected out of engineers? What is expected out of elected representatives? And if anything goes wrong, who is accountable? So we need to establish good governance in Naxal affected area, where center will have to collaborate with the state, and the entire scheme of governance should be efficient, effective, responsive, accountable, people friendly, and above all, supremacy of law. Then only, right, then only what has happened, that faith of the people in administrative machinery and government has got uprooted. Okay, so one very important component should be, right, one very important component should be to establish good governance in Naxal affected area. The fourth component should be, right, the fourth component should be perception management. And this is, right, this is a new theme, perception management. Perception management. And I feel all the offices of central and state government and all the officers, they need to take affirmative step to create a better perception about them in the mind of people residing in Naxal affected area. Perception management. This is very, very important, right? Important thing in present day world. Today what is happening, right? The moment you go in Naxal affected area and you speak to local people and you just say police, the first impression which will come in the mind of common man in India, they will get scared. Now with police, with the word police, we all should feel confident that yes, police is there to protect us. But see the paradox, that people are scared, fearful, approaching a police officer or approaching a police constable or going to police station. Only as last resort, people in India go to police. Whereas in hour of distress, they should approach police. First option should be, let me go to police. Why? Because there is a very different perception about police. We need to bring changes. Okay. Similarly, the moment we say, leader, elected representative, what perception they have built about them? That someone who will visit the area once in 5 years and during that visit will make many promises but will never come back to fulfill the promises. This is what is the perception about, elected representatives. The moment, they think of judiciary, what is the perception? Oh, if you go to court, it will take years and years for justice to be delivered. So judiciary has created a perception that there will be indefinite delay. Leaders have created perception that false promises, big claims, and when they will when they will only visit the area during campaign. Okay. So what I am just interested in telling you, that this is what needs to be changed. Perception. What is the perception about civil servant? My baap. Meaning someone who is vested with too much power, authority, and is having full command over resources. So this perception. So perception management will be very important component in counter Naxal strategy, and all wings of government, all organs of government, all offices of central and state government, all officers, they will have to take affirmative steps, positive steps to change the perception which people have towards them. So very important component in this strategy will be perception management. And I would also say, that we should also try to explore the possibility of a democratic solution. India is a democratic country. So we should try, government should try to reach out to Naxal leaders and to invite them over table for dialogue, talks, discussion, and whatever demands which fits within the framework of Indian Constitution, that should be and that must be fulfilled. So through talks, through dialogue with Naxal leaders, we should try to find solution. But already Government of India has given a call that abjure violence, give up violence, come forward for talk, government is willing to talk with you people, but first you should, abjure violence, give up violence and come forward for talk. This has not been responded, but government should keep on exploring the possibility of democratic solution to this problem. Government should not give up. Government must continue the exploration that at earliest when we can initiate talks with Naxal leaders for democratic solution, we will ask them that why you have picked up arms against the state, give up arms against the state and tell us what are your demands. And those demands which may fit within the framework of Indian Constitution, government should have willingness to fulfill those demands. So as far as counter-Naxal strategy is concerned, we can find a permanent and peaceful solution to this problem through multi-pronged strategy, within which one component will be security measures with focus on a strong police action against the violence component of the movement. Second component will be developmental measures. We will have to accelerate the pace of socio-economic political development in Naxal affected areas with a special focus on ensuring and protecting the rights and entitlement of local communities. Third would be good governance. Fourth would be perception management. And fifth would be exploration. That when at earliest we can have talks with Naxal leaders for finding peaceful solution to this problem. So this is all about the counter-Naxal strategy. This is what should be the approach of government if we want to combat left-wing extremism in a decisive manner for finding permanent and peaceful solution to this problem.